Thank you guys. I would respond to you, but I don't know how to activate the chat. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Zwift Monthly Racing series. This time from Champs Elysees, where we'll do 3 laps. And today I'm racing in C category for 2 reasons. A, I still can. And B, it's Monday, 7 p.m. in Europe, which means this race is being broadcasted on Zwift Community. And that means it will be very competitive. So at this point, it's probably where I should be. I don't know if I can stay with those guys who race this event regularly. But as always, if you're racing, good luck. If you like my content, subscribe and enjoy this. At the first glance, it might look like C category is C category and there's no differentiation, but it really isn't the case here. This is the most competitive event of the week and a lot of great riders gathered here. And most of the C riders at the front in this race are probably just B riders who just weren't promoted yet. Pretty rough for a C start. Rough starts aren't actually that rare for C category. During my period of racing in B category, I actually found out that C starts are often more rough than B starts. This being a broadcasted event by the Zwift Community live. A lot of the guys probably wanted just to show their skills and be recognized on the stream. And that made the start of the race really spicy. My plan for this event was to race for the podium, so it wasn't a maximum power contest. I just wanted to stay in the bunch, draft well, and by the end of the race, hopefully attack and try to win. At least that was my plan right now. I quickly found out that this group is really strong and the competition will be hard. What does this even do? Holy shit. I've never had this power-up before. Oh, I guess it smooths down the cobbles. And as it turns out, it does exactly that. That was one of my better guesses, actually. So as in the previous video, I'm speeding up the boring parts, but here comes the first climb of the day, the first of the 3 actually. It's not particularly steep and not particularly long, but it forces you to high effort nonetheless if you want to stay in the front group. And here you can see a very smart attempt for breakaway. The guy in the red at the front used the steamroller power-up and using their Zwift play, they changed their position to the left side of the road, which means that A, the group behind them couldn't draft and chase them easily, but also the next turn was left-hand turn. So positioning themselves on the left side of the road would actually shorten their turn radius. And I found that actually really smart. Here you can see other riders shifting to the left side of the road as well, me as well. And we are chasing the front guy, which we actually managed to do. But that was a really smart move anyway, in my opinion. The downhills on this course are recovery time. There's not really chance for an attack here.
I don't even know what the best time for this power-up is.
Having raced this already, I would say that it is the best to use this power-up similarly as aero power-up or featherweight, and just use it on the sections where you really want to separate yourself from the group or help yourself stay with the group.
Thank you. Glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it is always very nice to read words of encouragement from the community. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm glad you like the content.
Thank you guys. I would respond to you, but I don't know how to activate the chat. I mean, you need to be humble if you are not good, right?
Since the last race, I've tried to optimize my settings for the sauce for Zwift. Originally, I wanted to use it without the original Zwift UI, but there are some things from the Zwift UI that are valuable and you cannot transfer them to the sauce, mainly the power-up that you currently have. So I tried to merge the two as best as I could.
Let's do it now. Better to use it in the wrong time than not to use it at all.
So to explain my user interface in more detail, on the left hand side I've got my most valuable information, which is the power, heart rate and cadence. I received feedback last time that I didn't apply smoothing to the power, which is correct, but right now, as you can see, there is the 5-second average, which should make it more clear. And in the window at the top, I decided to show distance to go, timer, speed, and the drafting effect. Below that, I've got my W-ball indicator that shows my anaerobic capacity available, and at the bottom I've got the course profile with the pin of where I am and where other riders are. Here is the finish of the second climb of the race, and as in the first one, this was the hurt locker section of the course. I really needed to push well beyond my FTP to stay with the front group, and here you can see another attempt for a breakaway that we needed to chase. Here comes the second recovery. It was very much needed, as you can see on my W-ball indicator. I've reached 5.6 kilojoules, which is almost 2/3 of my anaerobic capacity used. So that was a testament that I didn't slack during the climb. This tunnel looks pretty innocent, but you still need to push really hard to stay with a bunch on this little climb up back into the street. It's not particularly exhausting, but it more like throw a wrench into your recovery. Here we are entering the third and final lap of this race, starting with the dreaded climb again. This time I'm keeping the whole climb at its regular speed, because I really expected an attack here, and when I say expect, I mean dreaded, because at this point I was hurting pretty bad. Unfortunately, I didn't get the featherweight power-up, but I decided I would use the steamroller here so I could use it to its most potential. And here the whole group somewhat eased up, at least for a very brief moment. I assume other riders were pretty tired at this point as well. Although you can see the average power output wasn't that high. 231 watts in 26 minutes isn't that much for me. The effort wasn't consistent. It was hard push up the climb, then recovery, then push again, then recovery. And such efforts are always way more difficult than keeping an ISO power. Here I received the featherweight power up that I decided I would keep for the exit of the tunnel down there. That would create a great opportunity for an attack if there were favorable conditions for that. In retrospect, I wouldn't have probably pushed on the uphill as much, because as there is a long descent after the climb, the bunch has always regrouped anyway, and I probably used way too much power to push to stay in the front. And here there is a clear attack at the podium from the German guy, and I really didn't want to let him go because I wanted to compete for the podium, so I chased him, and I probably shouldn't. The group eventually caught up anyway, and I've probably used a lot of energy chasing him, especially since he had the power up. And here comes the opportunity for the attack on the exit of the tunnel, but I was still recovering from the little chase, and although I used the power up and pushed, there were 3 guys at the front who really attacked well, and I actually wasn't even aware there were 3. I thought there was just 1, but then just 2 more guys just flew by and I was either unable to react or I really didn't want to at this point. In retrospect, I'm thinking that would be an easy chase, but I was already at 180 BPM here, so I probably just wanted to finish at this point. And here come the last 800 meters, which are going to be very painful, but I won't talk anymore. Enjoy the rest of the race. If you like it, subscribe, and I'll look forward to see you in the next race. Ciao.
That was rough.